Hi everybody, Candie Conat with My Back Office Coach here, doing a little live Q&A bookkeeping for small business question session. That didn't sound very good, but okay. I think you get where I'm going with this. I have a couple questions that people have asked me in the last week or 10 days, and I'm going to address those questions. Feel free to post below on this video your questions, and if I see them before the end, I'll do my best to answer them. Otherwise, I will answer them next week when I do this again. And also feel free to post what time you think is a good time to do this, what day and time. I'm trying different days, different times for different people. I'm in Eastern time zone, so I try to do it in the afternoon so that people on the West Coast of the United States can tune in and have it not be like, 4 a.m. or something. So trying to find what works for most people. So feel free to post and let me know what you think is good for you. So here's the deal. I have been a bookkeeper for over 25 years and started out bookkeeping for a very large electrical contracting business. And then in 1995, at the beginning of the year, I decided to start my own bookkeeping business. Did that for many years. Started another completely unrelated business along the way, but kept my bookkeeping business. Took a couple of employee type bookkeeping jobs along the way, and just really have come back to my own bookkeeping business. That is what I really love, because I love the variety of working with so many different people. In the meantime, I also figured out that what I really truly love is working with different clients and their employees to help them set things up, teach them the proper ways, the proper processes to do things, what works, and show them how to get on track, stay on track, and really understand the ins and outs of the financial side of their business, which helps them in the long run to be that much more successful. So what I've decided to do now is transition into teaching bookkeeping and financial understanding, that kind of thing, to help people get things going right with their business. So you can be a new business owner, you can be an existing business owner that needs to reorganize, needs to find the right people to work with, needs help, needs guidance. Maybe you need someone to check in with and keep you on track in your bookkeeping and financial side of your business. I do that. Maybe you just need help getting set up and understanding where you need to go with it, and then you can take it from there and do it yourself. So I work in all those ways with people. So, and I love it. I've worked with many different industries, from hair salons to manufacturing companies to a French restaurant, just many, and all over the country, all different states, all different types of businesses with different needs. 1 employee, 150 employees, union businesses, non-union. Love it. I love it all. So that's where I'm at, and if I can help you in any way, feel free to post any of your questions on my Facebook page or send me an email, and I am happy to do a quick consultation with anyone. 30 to 60 minutes. I offer a free consultation to anyone and everyone, no obligation. We can do a Skype call, phone call, back and forth in an email, whatever anyone would like. I am happy to do that, to kind of help you just kind of sort through things and see what it is I can help you with, and where you can go to get help, I guess I should say. So, okay, let's get going. And what I'm going to do is, the first question I had was from someone who asked me about, I don't know, a week and a half ago, about accounts receivable in their business. So that's what I'm going to address first. Basically, the person said that someone had mentioned, what are your accounts receivable? And this is for a new small business, one person, sole proprietor, a service-based business. It's a cleaning company. And she said she felt very ignorant, very stupid, because when the person said it to her, she didn't know what they meant. She had no clue what they meant. And she said she just gave him a blank stare. So she was very embarrassed, and so she sent me an email and said, what the heck, can you just explain this to me? So I did, and now she knows. And so accounts receivable in any business, doesn't matter what business it is, not every business will have accounts receivable, but many will. And it could be a small amount to a large amount. So accounts receivable is money that your customers owe you for work you've done. Or it could be money they owe you for a deposit on a future job, or, you know, anything like that. So if you, this was a cleaning business. So say you do a weekly cleaning for someone, maybe some offices, and you go in every Sunday and you clean the offices, and then you send them a bill, an invoice, on Monday for that week, or maybe you bill them once a month, however that is, however you have chosen to do that, that is accounts receivable. So when people owe you money for work you've done, that's accounts receivable. Now, her question to me was, how should I be tracking accounts receivable? Right now, she does everything by hand. So that's fine. If that's what works for someone, that's great. If someone is feeling frustrated in doing things by hand, feels like they don't have a good handle on that, then you need to find another process. And often that is a software program. QuickBooks is what many people know. So that is an avenue to go down. Doesn't have to be QuickBooks. There are now a million programs out there. I have used QuickBooks since it was DOS based back when I very first started my business in 1995. So I've been using it a long time. And believe me, when I first started using it as an accountant, bookkeeper type person, I hated it. Hated it with a passion. I thought it was just the most stupid program I ever saw in my life. But, of course, necessity forced me to learn it because it was the program that everyone was starting to use, and now it seems like it is the program that everyone is using. But there are many new ones starting to come out now. I've heard about FreshBooks, which I'm checking into. You can use an Excel program. I know actually several people who use Excel. They set up a spreadsheet, and they set up a tab for each customer, and you know, they have a just kind of a general invoice on there that they fill it in, print it out, send it, email it, fax it, mail it, whatever, to their customer. As far as keeping track, I think you're creating a lot more work for yourself there. So I would say, really, the best thing to do is a basic software program where you can spit out your invoices, and then you're going to go in and receive your payments, and it's going to keep track of who owes you what, which is very important. It helps with your cash flow. You need to know when you're going to have money coming in. You need to know who owes you money, who's overdue. You need to decide all of these things when you start your business. You need to say, am I going to allow people terms? And if so, what terms am I going to allow them? Am I going to have 7-day terms, 14-day terms, 30-day terms? Usually nobody goes longer than 30 days except for in large, maybe contracting type situations, construction type things. I wouldn't recommend longer than 30 days because just, you know, think about it. You're going to be waiting for your money for that long. To me, what's fair in a small business situation is 14 days. But you also sometimes have to look at the industry. Certain industries may or may not kind of have a standard that they go by. Maybe that standard is 30 days. So you have really no choice. You know, you can say 14-day terms, but if they're not going to pay you for 30 days, they're not going to pay you for 30 days. You have to make the decision. Can you live with that? If not, you move on to another customer or you live with it. So anyway, at any time, if you have your billings all up to date in your software program, you can pull a report, see who owes you money, and who's overdue, and that kind of thing. Make some phone calls or send a reminder statement or something to that effect. So that's why accounts receivable and keeping track of it is very important. For me, I am technology loving, so I don't recommend doing it by hand, but I know many people who do it by hand because that's what works for them and that's what they prefer. Of course, computers and technology and software, it's all wonderful until something goes wrong and something's not working when you need it to work and all that fun stuff. So paper and pen always works no matter what, but it's just not my thing. So I guess that's where I'm at with that. And let's see. Oh, I did mention that you need to decide ahead of time. You really should decide ahead of time how you want to deal with your customers, whether you're going to be a, cash, at time of service kind of person, or you're going to allow terms, whether it's a week or more. Now, a lot of people say, you know what, I don't want people to charge with me. I'm not going to let anybody have terms with me. I'm not going to have any accounts receivable. Everyone has to pay when I do the work, which is fine. However, if you're somebody who's dealing with a lot of businesses, they're not going to pay you immediately. They want to be able to receive that invoice and issue a check. And if you're going in someplace doing cleaning on a Sunday night or a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday morning or whatever it is, they're not there to pay you. So you don't want to make it difficult for your customer. You need to make it convenient for all. However, you don't want to let them use and abuse the situation either. So, and some people will do that, sadly. But that's up to you to stay on top of that with your customer, and don't let them drag those terms out farther than what is fair and what's agreed upon. Okay, so let's see. The other question I had was, last week I think it was, when I went to see Robin O'Malley at Mrs. O's Crap Shack in Interlochen, Michigan. One of the things we talked about was accounting apps on your phone or your tablet, because she does everything on her phone, which totally amazes me. She uses Google Sheets on her phone. It's crazy. Crazy amazing. I don't mean crazy bad. It's awesome for her that she does that. I could never do anything that in depth on my phone. I would go insane. I can barely use my fat little thumbs to text without getting mad. So doing my bookkeeping on my phone would just not work for me, but I know there's a billion people out there who love it and who would do that. So anyway, I've made a few calls, talked to some people at QuickBooks. They do have a QuickBooks Online phone app, which is pretty cool. I've checked into it. And I'm actually going to sign up for the trial today, and then I'm going to use it myself for a couple weeks, and then I'm going to, I'll probably do a video, also do a blog post, and kind of point out some pluses and minuses, pros and cons on the QuickBooks app. And then I do believe the other one was FreshBooks I checked into. They have a phone app as well, or I should say mobile app. And I'm going to check into that one as well and include that in my blog post as far as reviewing both apps and compare price, features, that kind of thing. I know a lot of people out there that like to use job costing for construction type situations, and payroll, accounts receivable, accounts payable, all that fun stuff. And I'm going to kind of look at those features in these software, phone or mobile apps to see if they're there and how well they work, how user-friendly they are, that kind of thing. So that's where I'm at on the QuickBooks phone app, and I will keep you all posted on that. So I don't see any questions posted in the comments at this point, so I'm going to sign off. But feel free to post your questions at any time on my Facebook page or send me an email, and I will be happy to answer them. And don't forget, I offer a free 30 to 60 minute consultation for new and existing business owners that need to evaluate and kind of figure out what they need to do, what direction they need to go in their bookkeeping and finances, accounting type area of their business. So whether you're getting ready to start a business, you just started one, or you've been in business for 5 or 10 years and you just need to reorganize, let me know. I am happy to do that free consultation with no obligation. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in. See you later. Bye.